Hello YouTube and Twitch chat. I got another Blackwargreymon deck profile for you. This one was inspired by a couple Japanese people back when they did this, and recently a guy named Tyson who played one of my tournaments last week when this is going live. He played this version of Blackwargreymon. It's a very black-based focused deck that does x-antibody shenanigans almost like it's an Alphamon deck. It's really weird. So I'm just going to not even explain it. I'm going to show you guys the deck profile, show you how it works. And this is just a fun way to play the Blackwargreymon deck. It's not red eggs, you know what I mean? It's fine, it's cool, and it's still good because it's Blackwargreymon. Like, it's not bad. So maybe this is something you want to try and do. It is up to you. If you guys like the content, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, turn on notification on the Smash Potatoes. That way you know when all these amazing Digimon videos go live. We're playing 4 eggs. My deck is a little bit different than the one guy I got this from. I'm playing Doraemons instead of a DP boosting egg. This dude says once per turn, when one of your effect places a Digimon card under this Digimon, draw a card. This will happen quite a bit in this deck. So it's basically your draw egg. It has to be black because we're playing black rookies. So we're playing 4 of it. There's nothing else I want because our DP gets pretty strong. And there's no... I don't really need extra DP in this deck. You can argue that you do. And to be fair, that's an okay argument to have if you want to have it. But I haven't found it super necessary. But if you guys want the DP boosting egg, there's a black one that does it, basically. It's the BT8 version, I think, of this card. You attach a source, you get 1,000 boosts or something. Whatever you want. Whatever you want. Rookies. Okay, this is where things get strange and weird. We're playing 4 copies of Doraemon. On play, real top 3 add an x-antibody to your hand. We don't play Kota. And to be honest, we won't be hard playing this hardly ever. It's inheritable is why it's here. When you stack a card under the sources, you gain memory once per turn. So we'll be doing some memory gaining shenanigans in this deck, which is really cool. We play 2 copies of Ryudamon. Ryudamon has the on-play real top 3 at next antibody and a Yuji. And we are playing Yujis. Yuji is broken. It also does give you a decoy black while this is one of the x-antibody of its traits. I don't think that really comes up, but it does have it, which is really cool. Now the next card we have is a proxy that I haven't gone around to printing off yet because I've been lazy. It's the Black Agu X. It's not there for the on-play. I really never on-play it. It's there because it can evolve on your Agumon that we do play in this deck. We play 2 copies of this Agumon. But we are also doing it because this Agu X, this black one, has the same ability as the BT11 Greymon X, where if you have the X antibody in your sources, you can bomb deck it to prevent like deletion, bouncing, or whatever. We're playing less copies of Greymon X, which is why we're playing more copies of this Agumon. And then, like I said, 2 copies of the black BT8 Agumon to search and all that. That's it. 12 rookies. 12 rookies is more than enough. You usually see them, and if you're not, the champions aren't too terrible to play, and you can play Tamers and stuff. It's honestly okay. Champions. This is where things get spicy. 4 copies of Dorugamon. If you know that you want x-antibody in play, or x-antibody in the traits, it's blocker, which is nice. And all turns plus 1,000 while has x-antibody in its traits. So that's why I was saying you don't really need the DP boosting egg, because this is your main champion. And it's consistently going to be 14,000 level 6s, which is enough to swing into security and survive the opponent's 13k level 6s. So as long as you're seeing this, you're probably fine. Now, this gets spicy, because we're playing 4 copies of Dex Dorugamon. Evolves for 0 on your thing here. When Digivolving, trash a card with Dex or Death X in its name or x-antibody in its traits to gain a memory, which you can do sometimes. When Digivolving, when your Digimon gains block and retaliation if you evolve it onto one of these. So we don't play the black Blackwargreymon, the inheritable one. We play this to give your stack retaliation and blocker for a turn, which is usually all that you need, to be honest. So yeah, 4 of those. And then we're playing 2 copies of Greymon X to round out the champion line. We're never going to evolve it onto an Agu Greymon. It's never going to happen. It's there for the protection, and it's there for the potentially reduced ultimate decrease, which is good. So we're going to move on now to ultimates. The ultimate lineup is almost what you're used to seeing. It's just 4 copies of BT8, D-Digivolve, pop a 3000 or less when you evolve, and Inheritable Judgment of the Blade. Really good. Then we're playing 4 copies of the new metal x-antibody. When you evolve, it can't be Digivolved, and it's immune to DP reduction for the turn. If it's over a metal gray or has x-antibody traits, pop 6000 or less. Great. And then the Inheritable here, opponent's turn once per turn. When this is unsuspended, you burn a security. Really, really, really good. Now we do play one more ultimate. Not the guy that I got this from, Tyson, was not playing this ultimate, and Japanese deck lists were doing it. I'm playing one copy of Blackwargreymon. Okay, so all our champions are black, which is fine. It's all good. This card's at 1 for a reason. When you evolve, you place a black card x-antibody and its traits from your hand to the bottom in order to prevent it from being deleted or having its DP reduced. So you get a 5th card in your deck that prevents DP reduction, but it also gives you protection for a turn. What a very good play is you have a Memory Tamer on field, you promote your champion, you evolve, you stack, whatever, stack with swords, can't be reduced, can't be destroyed, and then you evolve into a 6, and then you ruin the opponent's day for a turn. Really good. And then if the Digimon antibody has traits, it's security +1, which, by the way, most of our megas do have x-antibody in the traits. So it is getting that security +1 very often. The 1 of this card is fine. Yeah, sure, it can't be DP reduced by the Greymon X. You don't like reduce it by 2 to evolve it. That'd be really sick. But, you know, we are playing a lot of just regular black champions. So having the Blackwargreymon, I think, is fine. You stack a Digimon underneath, you're pretty good. You can also stack one of these, and then you start getting extra burn going on, and that's really, really cool. That's it for the ultimates. For the megas, 2 copies of regular Blackwargreymon for the... It's there really for the Tamer pop. It can also pop in the Digimon, pop the Digimon, and all turns and suspend if it pops the Digimon. Really good card. We're playing 2 copies of Blackwargreymon X from BT11. The reboot, opponent's turn, redirect their highest attack to it. When it unsuspends, if x-antibody or Blackwargreymon traits, you basically delete their highest Digimon. Yes. Eagle does point out something good. It is not a Greymon. That is important. It is not a Greymon. It's okay. It's fine. It's all good. But yeah. And as reboot. So this is one of your big boss monsters. Helps you gain a lot of control with your Metal Gray X's, and you just burn security, and it's all really good. Then our last one is just 2 copies of Gaimon. For the security +1, the reboot, the blitz, and the D-Digivolve. It's all there, it does all of it. Evolves for 2 on your Blackwargreymon, otherwise 5. Really important in the mirror match. Besides that, just overall fantastic card. So for the Digimon, we're going to move on now to the options. We're playing 2 copies of Hades Force. As you guys know, my last Blackwargreymon deck had 3 Hades Force. Had to cut it down for space reasons. For this deck, it's really good. You know, costs 5 usually, and you're just popping 13 cost worth of stuff on the field. Then attack with your Blackwargreymon boss monster. It's really, really strong. And security to Iron Fist on flop. Great card. And because the deck space is tight, we are playing 2 copies of X-Antibody. I might have also been playing 2 of that in my last Blackwargreymon X version. It's consistent enough. You're always going to find it, and you need it for your Greymon and Agu X protection in this deck, as well as some cool battle tricks. It's just there. It's a good card to have. That's it for the options. The Tamer lineup is kind of used to what you're seeing. 4 Cool Boys, because Cool Boy is busted. We're playing 2 copies of Yuya, Memory Tamer. This also will give you additional option protection if you evolve same name. Otherwise, it gives you 2,000, or sorry, same level. And then the 2,000 DP, obviously. This card makes your control matchups a lot easier, of course. Now, for the final card in the deck, as I've hinted to already, we're playing 3 copies of Yuji. For those of you that do not remember what Yuji does, I will tell you what it does. When you bring up a Digimon with X-Antibody and its traits from the breeding to the battle area, again, remember, draw a card. It's basically like your Agumon, Galmon, Tamer. Your turn. When one of your black Digimon with X-Antibody and its traits attacks, you may suspend this Tamer to place 1 card X-Antibody and its traits from your hand onto the bottom Digivolution card. Again, it will let you get multiple instances of this card underneath it, the Metal Gray X, and then you can just burn a whole lot of security at 1 shot, and then next turn win the game. If you want to, you can also use it to stack the Greymon X, you can use it to stack the Black Agu X, or, you know, whatever, Decoy or Memory Gain, whatever you want. Yuji is there for the extra acceleration of stack sourcing, and of course, whenever you do that, you do draw a card with your Doraemon Egg. That's it for the deck profile. A really, really wonky Blackwargreymon deck that plays a lot of the Alphamon x-antibody cards that you know and love because they just do really cool things for the deck. Is this better than the mainstream, maybe red version of whatever? I think it's on par if you play it right. It definitely has a couple of issues into a couple other matchups, but it is neat. It is really fun to try. I do recommend trying it, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw this at Nationals, to be honest. Like, it is making the rounds. You know, black base Blackwargreymon X is a thing, and some people are trying stuff like this. So maybe you try it, give it a try. You know, there's lots of playtesting to do before Nationals. Maybe you like it, who knows? Anyway, you guys let me know what you think in the comment section, and we are out of here. Goodbye.